Hello, everyone, and welcome back to episode number 4 of King City. Now, if this is the first time you're coming across my video, just to let you know, this is the first time I'm playing Cities Skylines, and therefore, this is the first city that I'm building on Cities Skylines. So, if you want to catch a glimpse of what we did previously, you can go through my channel and check out the episodes that I've already made. Now, that being said, our city has surpassed 100,000 in population, and I think we need to do it justice and take a look at public transit. And that is why I'm going to try to build the first bus network in this city, since we've also kind of did a bit of preparation in the last episode with the reserve bus lanes and that street and that main street right there. So I thought it would only make sense to start with buses, and that's what we're doing here. So I kind of went off this main road that I put the reserve bus lanes on and put a depot for the buses. Now, I did also put the bus terminal here near the bus depot, but then I realized the location's kind of off because you would expect a bus terminal to be somewhere more central. So I was gonna move it, but I thought since we have all these dedicated bus lanes here and accessibility is good road-wise, I can just move ahead and start building some offices and commercial and residential around this area. So there was no need to necessarily move it. We could just densify this area, and then over time it would just be in a location that's close to a lot of things. Alright, so now going in with the first bus stop, I'm trying to cover the area in the campus, the college campus, both because I had already put in the reserve lanes in the last episode, and also in my mind, any sort of educational campus needs some sort of public transit. And this is very close to the bus terminal anyway, so it would only make sense for the line to definitely cover this area. It is basically priority in my head. And where I end up going with this line is back to the first street that we built in the city, just because I thought that was kind of the first neighborhood that we had in the city, so the first bus line should also cover that area as well. And it is honestly kind of challenging trying to decide where the stops would be, or how the route's gonna kind of look and end up. But I mean, you're not gonna know until you try different things, right? So this was the street I'm talking about. This was the first street that I made in the city, and I thought the buses should cover the whole length of the street and then kind of circle back to the bus terminal. And these are the first buses rolling out of the bus depot and going on to the route that we just created. Now I went ahead and made this line orange, and this is the first bus making its way to the college campus. And I couldn't help honestly but to realize how ginormous the trees in the median of the street is. So as the bus was going through, I kind of had the little like switch thingy, and I was just switching them into like smaller trees, because honestly that does not look realistic. Just the trunk of that tree is honestly twice the height of the bus, so you would probably find those in some sort of like a jungle in the Amazon or something, I don't know. But yeah, and then I just stopped following the bus and went and changed these ones. Am I like too obsessed with trees? I don't know. But yeah, these definitely look much more realistic, at least for this street. So maybe somewhere else we'll use the mature ones, but here I think this looks better. So yeah, we just have the buses now rolling out, and I did name this line College 11. Why did I put 11? I don't know. Maybe for the other lines I will do like numbers at the end of them too, I don't know. We got another bus coming in, and I kind of wanted to see how it looks like in this part of the city. And we just have some people, quite a lot of people actually, at this bus stop that just disappear into the bus, and then we'll be making a sharp left turn here. But yeah, it looks pretty cool. And I just wanted to make sure everything's running fine. Nice. And oh, the turns are pretty sharp, but I think they'll be fine. I do like how once you put in the bus stop, the parking on that section disappears, just for the buses to kind of stop there. So here I'm going in with a second route for the buses, and what I had in mind for this line was to kind of go into the residential areas, also all the single family homes that we built in the first episode. Now in terms of effectiveness, honestly I'm not too sure how effective these lines will be, but I guess through the number of people they transport, you'll end up kind of getting an idea. And yeah, this line is going to be shorter than the first one, but it's got a completely different route, and it will cover a lot of single family homes that are kind of in a very good location now in the game, where they were kind of suburbs in the beginning, but now their location is pretty good. But one thing you do have to watch out for when placing the bus stops is which side of the road you put the bus stop. You can't just randomly go and put it like wherever you want, just because if it's on the wrong side of the road, the bus route will have to make this like random loop somewhere just for it to get there. So that did happen when I was trying to make this one. And yeah, for this one, I don't have a name yet because I haven't named any of the districts of the city, but I just left it at bus line 2 for now, until I do come up with names and districts. Now these are the buses for line 2 and I made them green. But as we were going through the street, I realized that there wasn't a bus stop by the high school, and that's just weird. We can't have that. So I went ahead and added one directly in front of the high school. It just totally makes sense to have a bus stop there. I was trying to move it a bit just because it was like right in front of that cafe, but then I was scared that it was gonna delete the whole bus line, so it's alright, it'll do. So in terms of expansion for this episode, we did have this huge chunk of the city just sitting empty with absolutely nothing in it, and obviously we do have a lot of development to the right and kind of north of this place, and we also have the bus network running to the left, so I thought it would make sense to go ahead and develop this area. In terms of street layout, I am doing this grid, but we are also putting in a lot of roundabouts. And in terms of density, I always had in mind to make this spot more dense compared to the one to the right, and that's exactly what I did. Now the zoning, I try to be a bit more strategic with it and try to get a mix of everything in here, and also try to make sure that all of the tiles are being built and not too much empty space is left in between. But obviously that is kind of difficult to accomplish. No matter what you do, there are spots that you just can't build on, or some buildings end up taking a whole area but only half of it gets built. Now, I saw this trick where you put the walking paths on a street where you don't want any zoning on, and the zoning basically gets transferred onto the street above or below. Honestly, I don't remember who used to do this because this was a few years ago, but it was one of the famous channels on YouTube. So if you do know who it was, let me know so I can thank them and give them a shout out. But aside from that, that's what I basically did there, just to make sure I get as much as density I can in the neighborhood itself. And in terms of zoning, what I do is the main street that runs all the way through the neighborhood, I just do high density commercial all the way. And then the rest, it's going to be a mix of mainly medium density and high density, with a few townhouses in between. But again, with the townhouses, as much as possible, I went in with 2x2 tiles, like 2 tiles in depth, just because I didn't want them to necessarily have large backyards. It just doesn't make sense when you have a building that is 20 or 30 stories beside you. Chances are you you won't be living in a house or a townhouse with a huge backyard. So yeah, that's what I'm doing, but it honestly took a lot of time for this area to fully develop, and the game was just demanding mostly high density houses, and I was trying to do a mix in this area because I didn't want it to be completely covered in tall buildings. So it did take a lot of time for the demand of medium density to come back up. Now, towards the end, I don't know if I'm too happy with how many tall buildings we have in the area. I was hoping for a few less, but I think it looks alright once they're fully built out. Now, this is the second or third time we're having a problem with the electricity for the city. And it's not necessarily that we don't have enough electricity, it's just that where I put the power plants in the beginning of the game, the street network around it is not necessarily the best, and we keep getting bottlenecks. And I've tried to add like new access points, but there's only so much I can do. So what I'm doing here is basically I just went ahead and unlocked a bunch of tiles to the right side of the map, and this is where I'm kind of planning to put all the industrial stuff. And so eventually I want to kind of open up the waterfront and move all the industries here, just because of the way the wind also blows in the map. So here I went ahead and unlocked the geothermal power plant, and obviously I'm doing as much as upgrades as I can just because I just really enjoy the upgrades. So hopefully this will be good for some time, and yeah, just trying to connect a few streets so we don't necessarily end up with any sort of bottlenecks again. And I'm also keeping the original ones that we put, at least for now. But starting in this episode, I'm gonna try to move the industrial buildings, like destroy the ones we have there by the waterfront, and kind of slowly move them here to this side. So back here where we have the bus terminal, I am going in and adding some density, both in terms of offices, commercial, and some residential. Just because it is a terminal, and that that means great access, great public transit access for everyone around this area. But I am going to try to stick with smaller tile sizes here, just because I don't want anything too crazy or too tall. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And it's just going to develop kind of over time. So we are starting with some offices, and then I will do some residential apartments very close to the offices that I just zoned. And back to this whole area that we're developing, I mean, as I said, it took a long time for it to develop, and I would kind of go in and try to figure out what would be the best way to zone these areas so I could fit both very small townhomes and medium density and high density apartments. And I do like the size of the offices that kind of popped up there. Now I am doing a medium density residential area in this section too, and I'll be doing this whole area in the European theme. And they're not necessarily going to be very compact. There's going to be a lot of open space, green space around it. And what I do at the end of the streets is just put the cul-de-sacs and use the walking pathways to make these small connections into the streets. And once you zoom in and see the people using them, I really like that. And again, this is what I did before in that other area too, where I used the walking pathways temporarily just to make sure all the zoning goes to the streets of the neighborhood rather than the main streets. So I find that pretty helpful. And then you can, once they build out, you can just basically remove the paths. This little area behind the terminal, I'm doing some high density um, apartments, but I am going just with 2 by 3 tiles just to make sure we kind of have control over the height, and they will end up all looking exactly the same, which is fine for this area. And putting in some walking connections so we can have people walking to and from the terminal, not needing to go all the way to where the street meets. I went ahead and unlocked the telecom tower, the bigger one, just because we were getting some complaints, and honestly, I'd forgotten about the whole thing, like where I even placed the two smaller ones. But yeah, I do like how the area is very big in terms of coverage. So we go in and put one close to the campus, and we're gonna have great connection. So it should be fine for now. And then we had no mailing services in the city. Imagine like having so many people live somewhere and not have any mailing services. But yeah, I was gonna put the larger building, but it just seemed way too big for this area especially. So I went in with the smaller one and try to put in as much as upgrades as possible. And that's how it looks like. But this building, the upgrade, it's facing the street, which I did not want, but whatever. We'll have to live with it. And in terms of the industrial area, I've already started removing the zoning for some of them, and I'm just going in and removing some more just because the area just didn't feel right there. So this is where we've already built some of the industrial buildings, and then I'm just unlocking more, and I'm extending these streets so I can just do very simple grids like the ones I already have. And this is just going to be the new industrial area basically, and we'll be needing a lot more actually, especially because we are getting rid of the ones that we already had. So yeah, that's what I'm basically doing here. And then once we do this, and once the area that was previously used by the industry clears out, we can hopefully have some plans for that area where the city meets the water. But yeah, as you see, like it's not fitting for the residential areas to be built there as of now. But I do believe the area will clear out once you play the game for some time. Now, the city is seeing a great demand for single family homes, and again, I'm kind of having trouble with where to place these neighborhoods. So I have unlocked a whole lot of tiles, which um, might seem unnecessarily for now at least, but we'll see. And honestly, I'm getting rid of a lot of the train tracks that originally came in the map. So I have no idea how I'm going to be figuring out where to place those later on, but we'll see. And basically, I'm trying to make new connections into the kind of the bus terminal neighborhood that we have up there from this side, from by the water. And I do try to go in and build some townhouses uh, to the south, let's say, of the bus terminal. But I end up just not liking how they look like, to be honest. And I will be removing them towards the end of this episode. And we'll just have to see what fits that area. As of now, I'm not too sure. It just didn't look great, especially in comparison to that very dense area that we have. So yeah, let's just see how it goes. But I don't think townhomes in this part will be the answer. Now, what I am finding kind of annoying, to be honest, is the amount of houses that are requesting a hearse. It's just constant and non-stop. So I don't know if like anyone else experiences that, or if I'm doing anything wrong, but I just went ahead and put this crematorium here and basically put down 6 upgrades, actually 8 upgrades to the building. So it fully takes up this whole like parcel of land here. And honestly, it looks alright. I do like how it looks like. And it is right beside a hospital, so that's good. But let's see, hopefully this will alleviate the problem they're facing. But the demand does seem to be kind of abnormally high, especially for the amount of people that live in a city. So, but I do really like the buildings. So that's at least good. They kind of add something to the city. These are the townhomes I was talking about. I don't know, they just kind of felt off to me. There's just something that doesn't go well in terms of how they look. Again, especially in comparison to the other neighborhood across. And this area, as you see, this was all the industrial stuff. Now a lot of it has cleared out. So that's why I thought I could go ahead and develop this little area right here, just because I wouldn't do it before due to the proximity to the industrial stuff. I just don't think it would be fitting to have houses so close to all the industrial buildings, especially with the smoke coming out, and just the view was just crazy. So I had avoided zoning any of these areas, even though I could, until now. And I went ahead with a mix of townhouses and single family homes. And there you go. This is where I just get rid of all of these townhouses here. And I won't be doing anything in that specific location in this episode, just because I kind of gotta think about what I want to do there. And for this little southern part of this land, I am going in with single family homes, and just because I gotta eat away at the demand as well. It's just been sitting there for the longest time, and I haven't built any in this episode. Alright, so since most of the new neighborhood is fully built now, I do think we're ready for the third bus line of the city. And in terms of route and focus, I'm putting the main focus in this new neighborhood, just due to the density of this area. And also I am going into this loop here and also covering this area as well, just because this was one of the first neighborhoods that we built, and it will kind of just go back the same route and make its way back up to the bus terminal. I also decided to place one of the signature buildings here. It's just this red brick apartment, and it honestly looks beautiful. Once I put it down, I kind of zoomed in, and the detailing is pretty nice actually. But I do turn off the snapping just to put it kind of dead center in that little area that we have. And I like it. It fits into the area in terms of height, and it's actually very beautiful. I do really like this. And what I end up doing behind this building is just townhomes, just because I don't want any large apartments kind of overbearing this beautiful building that we have. And I was thinking of putting the Mediterranean style, but I don't think it fits it in this area. So I just went ahead with the regular North American style and made the lots actually a bit bigger here. So I did three in depth, yeah, instead of the ones I have, which are 2. Just so we can kind of preserve the backyard of this beautiful building. And I just went in with some trees right away, just to give it that like finished look. I went ahead and also put a high school in this area, just because the neighborhood is pretty large and they do deserve their own school. Again, also went in with the upgrades, made sure all of them were put down, and it did kind of like double the size of the school, which is pretty nice. So yeah, that's for that. Just kind of changed the location. I thought it would be better to have it facing the street this way, and then with some apartments right beside him. I also went ahead and put in the taxi depot pretty close to the bus terminal, and obviously put in the upgrades as well, just because I hadn't put in the taxi depot yet. Although you don't necessarily need to put it in, because I did realize that there were already taxis going around the streets, and this little area is fully developed now. I just went ahead and removed the high density commercial because it just looked weird, to be honest. And we are almost fully clear of the industrial area down here. We just have the last little part remaining. Although again, I do need to wait for further development because the soil is basically contaminated from the industry. So we'll just have to let the game run for some time until we can go ahead and try to reconfigure that area. Okay, so one of the last things we're going to do for this episode is to develop this little section that was kind of just left behind here. And again, one of the reasons that I hadn't built anything here was mainly due to the industrial buildings just below it. But now that we're almost fully clear of those industrial buildings, it only makes sense to go in and build this area out. And we are doing mostly townhomes here with some commercial along the main streets. Alright, and here goes the last bit of industrial zoning that we had close to the city. And they'll just be relocated right over here as the demand goes up. And this is pretty much it for the 4th episode of King City. If you've made it this far, I do want to thank you for watching. And leave me a comment, let me know how you feel about the city, what you think I can do to improve the city, and just any opinion that you may have. So let me know if you like the way I play, or have any suggestions in terms of how I record the gameplay. I would love to hear your feedback.